Yeah, so this is weird. Seeing me sitting in a chair and not providing analysis on football. And by analysis, I mean screaming to the point of almost lung failure over the existence of a certain ginger centre back. But lads, this is a football-free zone. Yes, I've just spread my legs and given birth to this new channel where I'm just going to be talking about what's current and topical in the news. So yes, I'm going to step into the world of pop culture, current affairs, whatever. And honestly, it would probably be about as natural as dunking a pigeon headfirst into a toilet bowl. Before I discovered dial-up internet in 2016, life was a simpler time. Sure, I was sleeping in a bathtub and hadn't eaten a home-cooked meal in 7 goddamn years, but still, at least my subconscious hadn't discovered the perils of Jake Paul, and I didn't know who or what a deadly diss track was. And now that I do, trust me, I do often sneeze chunks of brain out my nose every time I remember. When I was a child, the internet just consisted of wholesome Rugrat video games and photos of angry cats. Now though, our visual senses are polluted with stuff like this. So right, this challenge is going to be all about discussing everything in the world bar football. So right, if you do indeed have a brain coated in shampoo, and you do want to sit down and listen to my opinions on everything else in the world, then slap on a subscribe, tell me what you want to see me talk about, and honestly, you would be the greatest living person here on planet Earth. And I know what you're thinking.
Oh, not another commentary channel. What's the difference?
I'll tell you. Yes, this genre already exists, sure. But do you see the people doing those sort of videos? Sugar-coated millionaires from the age of 12. People who probably think they can bottle a glass of their own sweat and flog it to their impressionable fans. Oh yes, the beacons of relativity. Some of these commenters are too terrified to register an unbiased opinion, so frozen in fear at risking the offense of KSI. These are people living in high-rise London flats with their own personal chefs. Me? I honestly went 9 months without being able to afford toothpaste. Good Christ, every time I visit the dentist, he probably kisses goodbye to his wife. Anyway, let's crack into this though for full-blooded, honest opinions on everything mental that's happening in the world. So yeah, let's crack on with it.
Boris Johnson sees rapid testing as route forward for reopening nightclubs and theatres.
I'm guessing the age demographic of YouTube falls into the 18 to 24 category, meaning that most of you are probably starved of the nightclub scene. Good Christ, half of you walking kidney bags are probably whacking out the robot in the kitchen and trying to romance the hole in your fridge. But apparently, according to the Prime Minister, a guy who probably hasn't had a professional haircut in at least 3 decades of life, probably thinks drenching himself from head to toe in Lynx Africa constitutes as a goddamn shower. Anyway, according to him, apparently Britons could be allowed to return to nightclubs and theaters with the use of rapid COVID tests. Yeah, whereas before you drunkenly stumble into a queue, desperately hoping the bouncer doesn't look you dead in the eyes, or realizing that you smell of a walking whiskey bottle, now you'll have to stand there on the spot, being given a test at 1 AM in the morning. Lads, I've seen the state of the gremlins try to claw their way into nightclubs. Just try and imagine a bunch of orcs in mini skirts, with drool smeared across their chin, and after 3 hours of downing tins in a bush, what state will these drunken monsters be in to undergo an actual medical test? When their veins will most likely be swimming in toxic sludge. Although Christ above, after a year of inactivity, what sort of states are nightclubs going to be in? Good Christ, some of these bankrupt owners are probably going to have to relocate into a cardboard box. You're probably going to have to wait 20 minutes to get served in the bar, only to be served a pint of the bartender's own armpit sweat, which is just as well, because after a year of sitting on the couch, can you imagine the alcohol tolerance of every teenage uni student? Good Christ, after 12 months of drinking water, Fanta Orange, and pints of their own tears, their kidneys are going to be in such great shape. But after such a prolonged break, even a sniff of a glass of Heineken, and they'll probably be puking up their morning Honey Nut Cheerios onto the goddamn dance floor. And actually, I say dance floor? After a year of zero cash inflow, they'll probably be forced to dance in the goddamn toilet. Speaking of nightclubs, police just raided an illegal nightclub in Birmingham, full of 150 people. Good cause look at this! Apparently some tried to escape by climbing onto the roof. What a bunch of utter gombeans. I'm sorry, when you woke up that morning, did you each ingest a bottle of Calpol each? The DJ could be fined £10,000 for organising this. I can only conclude that his mother must have used him as a basketball as a child. We live in a world where it's illegal to go on holiday, and yet these bunch of selfish melonheads are raving to Nicki Minaj on a dance floor, probably swimming with germs. Anyway, what else? Jake Paul's been japping his gums again. A fella who apparently wants to embark on a boxing career. I'm sorry, we live in a world where Rio Ferdinand, a dedicated athlete for 20 years, gets denied a boxing license, and yet this fella, a former Disney star, a guy who had his nose turned into wet sausage by Deji, he now thinks he can take on Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, and Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. He looks like if Alex from Glasto and Vanilla Ice had a baby. I know, that's probably a mental image that probably makes you want to violently rupture your own spleen. But yeah, I realize this guy has a bigger Twitter following than most countries. But honestly, the guy is calling out Nate Diaz. And not only that, but he says he would embarrass the man. I'm sorry, the only thing that would embarrass is the sport of boxing. What sort of sick fantasy land is he living in? Does he not know who Diaz is? This guy is a human version of a mountain troll crossed with King Kong. Good Christ, one punch off him and the boxing ring will be littered with your goddamn teeth. Yes, I realize he's an ego bigger than Susan Boyle's diaphragm. But trust me, your Twitter followers aren't going to save you from a 6-foot gorilla. Trust me, after 20 seconds of sharing the ring with this other monster, you'll be spending the next year of your life drinking dinner through a straw. I realize it's a different sport, but Diaz has won 20 professional bouts in his life, with 5 of them being knockouts. Little Disney star Jake Paul, his fighting CV consists of beating up these 2 guys and a basketball player. Trust me, Ben Askren is going to turn this guy's boxing career and all this smack talk into wet dishing water. But of course, he's a professional fighter. I know that punching isn't exactly his best skill, and I realize he was turned into a 6-second meme by Masvidal's flying knee, but he's literally been paid to fight since February 2009, when this guy was 12 years old and collecting Pokemon cards. To be fair, his older brother still does that and he's pushing 30. I don't care that Askren is a wrestler first. Don't tell me that a man can go 12 years through mixed martial arts without learning how to take a punch. This guy went 10 years unbeaten, seeing off punches from Robbie Lawler, one of the most powerful ever hitters in MMA history. Good Christ, if this guy can withstand repeated punches in the face from a trained assassin like Lawler, a guy who once said he'd take Conor McGregor's soul, then I'm pretty sure he'd be able to take powder puff love taps from this guy. And finally, I'll touch on the big other news in the media. There's something about royal sperm which gets an entire country up in arms. Christ, but right now, there's a global pandemic going on and still, yet the nation is fawning over some former Suits actress announcing that she's pregnant. I don't care that he's a prince. Usually if you get knocked up by someone who looks like Ronald Weasley, that's a cause for your relatives to offer you condolences. Oh great, your firstborn is gonna look like Carrot Top. Anyway, that's it. Let me know, what do you think? Alright, do you want to see more content like this on this channel? Let me know and give me suggestions of what sort of things I can tackle. I'm actually looking forward to this. So yeah, let me know in the comments section below what you want to see. Slap that subscribe. As always, I'll talk shit in a while.